smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends, helps a dreary night go by. Wearing Hinckley's 6 of the best, stupendous quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's Cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chat room pauses. History aside. Local pauses. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know we keep it HDPP.
And here we go. Good evening. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, here we are then. Sunday night. Not at the BAFTAs, I would say. And welcome once again to Hinckley District Past and Present Live. Now, before we start, yes, sound was a bit quiet at the beginning. Think we've got that sorted. Cal said my sound's great. That's okay. Yeah, to be fair, guys, it was a bit quiet earlier on. I won't even go into the technicals of it. But anyway, I think we're okay. If you think we're quiet, let us know. But I have now cranked up the volume control here. And I must be honest, you got me worried earlier on, because I thought they're all going to be watching the BAFTAs tonight. They'll much rather be hobnobbing with the stars of stage and screen, and they won't bother about little old me, cooped up in this little cupboard somewhere in the deepest, darkest depth of Little Hinckley. But no, you've come out in your all of a sudden you've all come out. Honestly, I thought there was only me, Anne Hunt and Ian right at the very beginning in Robertson. I thought, oh, bit quiet. As you can see, as I scroll up my list, look, it's a bit quiet tonight. You must all be watching the BAFTAs. But then, the door burst open. In come Pat Galloway with a cooey. And Kath Denny followed closely behind, which was a relief because, like I say, I was really thinking, there's no one going to join us tonight. And Carol Beasley was with us, and I thought, where is everybody? But you're here. And it's great that you joined me on this Sunday night, actually. I'm still getting used to this Sunday business, but it does work better for me and Sue. Had the grandchildren last night, so hence the bleary eyes. But a lovely day we've had, and now I can have a nice kip tonight, as I did this afternoon, to be totally honest. Anyway, so good evening, no matter where you're viewing from around the world. This is Hinckley live on a Sunday evening. And it doesn't get much more boring than worse than this. So then, you know from now, the only way is up. Yeah, Absolutely. And so, the Starboroughs are here. Good evening, Starboroughs. Glad you've made it today. John Denny's here. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Russett's here. Hi, Russet. Hope you're good tonight. And like I say, Carol Bees has just gone to get her hearing aids. What? You'll have to speak up. I don't know. Let's all turn the sound off and then she'll think their hearing aids aren't working. The Crops are here. Alan, Marie, welcome. I'm glad you've joined us and you've chose us over the BAFTAs tonight as well. Absolutely. And Queen Bee is here as well. David S. is here, along with David Blower as well. David Blower we all sat very quietly in the corner earlier on. We really, really did. Anyway. Dangerous Den, he's here again. He said, I must not be late, I must not be late. He must not. His book is going so well. Well done, Dennis. Got a little bit of money here for the sales of the ones we've done for you so far. We'll get that to you on Wednesday night. Talking of Wednesday night, there's a nice link. I should have gone into radio. The social on Wednesday night, of course, is the biggie. It's the biggie. It's the biggest night of the year. Our local good causes. It's all happening. And we want you to come along because I want you to see where your kind money has gone. You people that have supported us by buying badges, stickers, key rings, DVDs, and all the other paraphernalia that HDPP does, as well as you supporting our raffles. All that money goes into a big pot. And it's all being dished out on Wednesday evening, live at the Greyhound. And I want you all to come along because it's your money. You've gave it to us. Now we're showing you where we're putting it exactly. So lovely. That will be, of course, on Wednesday night. Really, really looking forward to that. Should be absolutely superb. Yes. Now then, I'll just click on this presentation. Now, it's the same one. Right. Okay. Now then, must also tell you that I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors for the simple reason I forgot to do it the last few weeks. I should get into trouble. But we really do appreciate their support of HDPP, giving us a chance to, like I say, raise money and stuff, and the things they do for us be great. And anyway, glad to see that Kath Denny's going to be there on Wednesday night. Thank you. I know you don't bring the old man anymore. I know he's an embarrassment, isn't he? Well, he must be an embarrassment when we start talking about his book. Bless him. But I'm sure we will all love him when he finally does one day next century. When he does bring his book out. So there we go. Excellent. Okay. And also, we had a good scanning session yesterday, thanks to the members that came along and members of the public that brought some pictures along. Very good. In fact, Bev, she watches the stream, but she doesn't comment. I know. So, Bev, thanks for your Aston Villa football team photos. I'm sure we'll find somewhere to put them. Anyway, no, thanks. And Linda came. She brought us some nice pictures as well. Plus, Claire Shergold also brought some pictures. So all in all, we've got quite two nice pictures to share with you over the coming days, of course, as well. Now then, let's see. We've got 6 of the best coming tonight as well. So get your pens and paper ready. We'll be doing that in just a few moments' time. It's so hot off the press, even Mrs. G doesn't know any of the questions. She's not even had a sneak at the anagram. Why? She was too busy watching the telly next door. And I said, I'm starting now. And she goes, oh. She had lost track of the time. Can't get the stuff these days, but there we go. Oh, hello, Gary Betterley. Talking about tadpoles. Yeah, okay. Got all the tadpoles with us for the week. Oh, that must be the grandchildren, I assume. I hope so, anyway. And Marie and Jan will also be at the presentation night on Wednesday. So looking forward to that. I know, Alan, you and Mike are off golfing. Well, I know it's your AGM, but yes. We won't go into all that anyway. So, so we're looking forward to that on Wednesday night. Should be good. Don't forget. Oh! Do you mind? Stop now. Stop. Didn't know that was going to happen. That was me clicking away. Thought I'd seen something and not something else. Anyway, Tim Townsend and Little Jane here. That's great. Are you all around? Glad you're all here because it's now ready for 6 of the best. And yes, the HGS AGM. If you all want to go to the golf club for their AGM rather than come to HDPP, personally, I don't think there is any contest whatsoever. I really, really don't. Here we go then. It's 6 of the best time where we're going to be testing your local knowledge and basically they're very easy this week. Yeah. Very, very easy this week. So, but as always, do not put your answer in the chat room because people nick your answers. Hang on to them. Yes, hang on to them because they'll come in useful right at the very end of the programme. So question number 1, we're asking, what was the name of the man who introduced the knitting frame to Hinckley? You should know that. Bit too easy, but like I say, some weeks we'll make them hard, some weeks we'll make it that little bit harder. There you go. So what was the name of the man who introduced the knitting frame to Hinckley? That is question number 1, okay? Oh, and a late comer coming in. Hello to Elaine Galloway. Yep, nice to know that you're here, Elaine. You've not missed any of the questions. There's the first one on the screen now. Question number 2. Which science deals with heat, light, electricity and mechanics? What science is it? I like that one. That's our general knowledge question tonight. Which science deals with heat, light, electricity and mechanics? That is your question number 2. Question number 3. Once again, these are so easy, Paul. Why did you even bother doing them? A frog can breathe through its skin. Can you believe that? Is that true? Is it false? Did I just make it up? And even now, I can hear somebody's keyboard going click, 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 quick, go to Google, click, click. I can hear it. That is question number 3. Too easy by far. What year was the first modern day street fair held in the borough? I hope I've still got my notes for this, actually. I've just remembered. Okay. What year was the first modern day street fair held in the borough in Hinckley? You know, like the Tin Hat Street Fair, but we want to know the very first year it became the norm. Okay, that's question number 4. Question 5, where am I? Give you a chance a minute. Actually, I've just noticed that Daniel Coburn's not here tonight so far. He's watching the BAFTAs as well. Now, here we are. We're in Hinckley. That's a subtle one, isn't it? I like it. I went by the other. I thought, oh, there's a good one. That's a good one. So where am I? Where in Hinckley am I? I'll just leave it on the screen a little bit longer. It'll be no good for David Blower because he only comes to Hinckley under cover of darkness, don't you, David? And then he goes again. Oh, bless. Anyway, so there you go. Where am I in Hinckley? Okay, and now the biggie, ladies and gentlemen. It's the anagram question now. Here we go. Helmed Hellhole Soft Withholding. I love it. It's the best I could do considering the letters I'd got to work with. Ahmed Hellhole Soft Withholding. I'll leave it on the screen. Get all those letters down. And what we're looking for is a village, a local village with a once very popular pub. Surprise, surprise, Gardner. You always get on about pubs. And used to go to this place quite a lot, particularly sort of summertime, because it had a nice little ride out. You could sit outside in the garden if you so wished, and it was really nice. But equally so, it was very friendly inside as well. So, Ahmed Hellhole Soft Withholding. If you rearrange that, that will give you the village name, and I reckon as soon as you get the village name, you will then easily follow through, as it were, with the pub in question. A village with a once very popular pub. It's not popular now because it's all boarded up. You see, I've given it away. Gardner, don't do that. Okay, let's go through the questions one more time. Question number 1. What was the name of the man who introduced the knitting frame to Hinckley? That is question number 1. Easy. Question number 2. Which science deals with heat, light, electricity and mechanics? Don't say the London Stock Exchange. Question number 3. True or false, a frog can breathe through its skin? A frog can breathe through its skin. John Denny, you annoy me now. Go away. Question 4. And I've got the anagram. I haven't even finished doing this round yet. Question 4. What year was the first modern-day street fair held in the borough? You see? See if John Denny gets that one. Question 5. Where am I in Hinckley? Yeah. Where am I? I'm quite pleased with that one. That's good. Quite a thing, that. And there we go. No bother telling John Denny this because he's already got it. That's how easy the anagram is tonight. John Denny got it before my second round of questions were aired tonight. Ahmed, hellhole soft withholding, or withholding soft hellhold Ahmed, whichever way you want to do it. It'll give you a village with a pub very popular that you was, but now of course it's not there. So there you go. So keep all your answers to yourselves, and we'll come back. We'll go over those over the program tonight. Now, a little bit of a change to things actually. First of all, I've got a great little thing about the expansion of the railways and its demise in the area. We're doing that very, very shortly, David Blower. I know you'll enjoy that. Pat Galloway says, I'm still trying to get Alan's anagram. Yes, I know. What is HGS? What? HGS? There's only 3 letters too. Anyway, all right. So it's a bit of fun tonight. Now you've all joined in. It's nice to know you there. We'll be going through the questions a couple more times, and then at the end of the programme, we'll ask you to add your answers to it. Now then, a reminder that in April, Tuesday the 4th of April at 7 p.m, we are having our annual, I might as well make it an annual event, annual evening with Joseph Barsby and the G Seller team. Now, Hinckley District past and present have been doing this almost since we started actually. And it's proved a very, very popular evening. Now, as I always say, you're never going to see anything you're not supposed to see, but it's a very pleasant evening. And the good thing about it is Joseph and his team will answer any questions you may have. Now, let's face it, there are certain myths and rumours what goes on at at these places, and I can assure you, they are myths and they are rumours. These guys here will tell you exactly what happens. Very upfront and straight with you, and they really are. No wonder they are the leading undertakers in the area. They really are. They are absolutely fantastic. They've been very, very good to HDPP, and I'd invite all of you. Now it's a ticket-only event. The tickets are free. We will have the tickets with us on Wednesday. We had the tickets with us on yesterday at the scanning session, and some of the tickets went then. People came in to collect them, but don't leave it because you do need a ticket. The tickets are free, but so we can ascertain how many people are coming, how many rich tea biscuits to bring, and tea and coffee. That's what it's for. But we would love you to come along and join us. Splendid evening. It really, really is. Okay, that's on. So it's only. Blimey, where's all this all going? It's the 4th of April. I mean, believe it or not, even though we're sitting here in February, it will not be long. It will not be long before that's come knocking at. Next minute, it's gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's before we've even talked about our March social night, which we'll have news about very, very soon. Okay, then. Enough of this, gardener. Give people a break. Let's tell you what's been going on in Hinckley. And that is just lately, and at long last, they have actually started to work on the moat in Argentsmead. Long overdue. And so what I want to do, I've took a little bit of video footage to show you what's been going on. And it's really looking super. That the moat is really taking shape. There's a lot more work to do yet, but even now, where they've thinned the trees out, so you can see more of how it should look. And I just happened to be going down there on Friday morning, and I'd only got my mobile phone with me, so the footage might be a little bit shaky, but I think you can appreciate when I put it on the screen, you can see what's going on. This was a gentleman using his contraption, I'll say contraption, and it's like a track machine, and it paddles along the moat. And what they've been doing, basically, is dredging the silt up from the bottom of the moat, and then they've been putting it round the edges. Can you see those new pronounced edges that they've got there? And so that's what they're doing, basically scooping it up out the bottom, and then building the banks back, which is what they said they were going to do in the first place. Now, as you can see, and we do zoom in at this point, if I remember right, you will see how silty that water is. It is black. It's like oil. Look at, you can see this. It is just like oil. Anyway, I was having great fun videoing this gentleman. Then I think he realised I was videoing it, so he turned around and went off for his tea. Didn't he, Mrs. G? Yes, he did, because it was his tea break. But it gives you an idea of the work. But look at that. You wouldn't want to dive in that at the minute now, would you? But it's a clever little bit of kit, that. And like I say, the silt is being picked up out the bottom and then put onto the banks and then spread backwards to help reinforce the bank. And the bank has been put like some stakes in and some webbing to hold it all back. I think you can see that quite clearly if you look on there. And that's what's been going on down at the moat. I think it's good to see. And like I say, the picture I did post the other day was really good, because you can actually see the shape of the mound, and I managed to get the full crescent shape. Yeah, he's off for his dinner. He's off for his tea now. This is all going. I ain't really feel no longer. And you can actually see, the whole shape of the moat. It looked really, really good. So that's what's going on in the mead. You can go along and you can see that gentleman working away like mad. Any day next week, go along, say HDPP sent me. I've seen you on the telly. There we go. Good. All right. Now then, what should we do now? I was in a bit of a quandary what to do, actually. So I thought, what shall I do tonight? What can I do? I thought, let's show something I've never shown before. This is really up your... As guys will probably find this really interesting, ladies, I'm sorry to say. But this is all about transport, and particularly the railway transport in our area, how it developed and how it demised. It's very interesting. And this I found down on YouTube, as usual. And the gentleman starts off at Stony Cove, of all places, gives quite an interesting account of that. Then we talk about, when the railway started and how it expanded. Well, you'll see, it only lasts 12 minutes, but it's a fascinating little feature. And we'll be back in a few moments' time after this with 6 of the best ones again to go over the questions if you are late to the party tonight. Here we go.
So today I'm at Stony Cove. This is the Leicestershire's premier, in fact the country's premier scuba diving instructing place. And it used to be Stony Stanton quarries for granite. There's two quarries here. There's Lanes Hill and there's Top Quarry, both behind me now filled with water. And opened in the 1880s. The quarries were allowed to fill with water in the 50s and the 60s, and slowly over time, there'd always been a problem with water here, but slowly over time it filled up with water. And in the 60s, when the demand for oil became popular and the need for diving, proper diving instructor was needed, this place became very popular and is now recognised as one of the premier scuba instructing places in the country. But over here to where the car park is, there used to be a great big long siding that came down from the South Leicestershire line and then connected with another further line that went into the quarry.
Wagons were loaded onto a tramway at the top of the quarry and sent to the main line almost 2 miles away, past a set yard outside St Michael's Church and north to the main line just east of the current M69. So let's have a look at what remains here. In this area, wagons were prepared to be hauled uphill to meet the set yard and an incline into the quarries for raw material diverged. This is the area where divers currently enter the water after receiving their briefings. The tramway proceeds northwards through a cutting where sleepers are still present beneath the tarmac of the diving centre, heading under the road bridge carrying Sapcote Road. The line continues from under the road toward the village through a wooded area. At the end of the wood is an arboretum, and the line passes into a tunnel which has long been filled in under Carey Hill Road. Carey Hill Quarry has been filled in, but is still fenced off. The line passes its edge and under a bridge on the new road outside St Michael's Church. It then passes under the road Knock Verges and continues out of the village toward the main line. I found this piece of track in the woods along the route. Whilst the path of the tramway was clear, only this and the bridges remain. What is currently known as the Leicester to Birmingham Railway once had stations at Blaby and Croft running on the east-west corridor, as well as stations at Elmsthorpe and Wigston Glenparva, all of which have ceased to be. What little remains of them are ghosts beside the track as trains continue to pass by. Also on this line are a number of quarries which had sidings and tramways, and the majority of these are now public footpaths. YouTuber Midi Explores has filmed a number of these. A previously unmentioned form of transport appears in this history, the aerial ropeway. Tom Scott has an interesting video about the Forterra brickworks in Lancashire, the last remaining UK aerial ropeway, which is well worth watching. The South Leicestershire Railway was founded in 1850 as the Nuneaton and Hinckley Railway, with parliamentary powers to build a 4.5-mile railway from Nuneaton on the London and North Western Railway to Hinckley in Leicestershire. In the 1851 census, Hinckley's population was 6,448, a similar size to Peterborough or Stamford, which already had railway stations. Steam power had reached the factories in 1853. Nuneaton then was mostly producing handmade ribbons and Hinckley stockings. In 1860, an act was passed to extend to Wigston, months after the first dig for the first section was underway. With connections to Coventry, London and Leicester, within 20 years Nuneaton expanded into a multi-industry town including hats, beer, bricks and engineering. So let's just lay some map basics before the railways arrive. The Soar rises in Monks Kirby, Warwickshire and joins the Soar Brook in Sharnford. We're in southwest Leicestershire. Here's a scale for you. In 1840, the Midland Counties Railway connected Trent Junction to Rugby via Leicester. There was a 6-week delay in opening the southern section due to heavy rains. Then came Wigston's first station, followed by Broughton Astley and on toward Rugby. By 1842, Countersthorpe has opened. The exact date is unclear, but it is delayed in the original line opening. In September 1847, Nuneaton is reached on LNWR's Trent Valley line from Rugby to Stafford, avoiding Birmingham. In August 1849, the Midland Railway, which had bought out the Leicester and Swannington Railway in 1845, created a new branch from the Midland to join it and its other extension at the West End, connecting to Burton-on-Trent. On the 12th of September 1850, the LNWR connected Nuneaton to Coventry, opening a market for bicycles and clocks. In May 1857, the Midland opened its new line to Hitchin via Markets Harborough and opened a second station called Wigston. With intent to extend, the Nuneaton and Hinckley renames itself the South Leicestershire Railway on the 14th of June 1860, with royal assent to continue toward Leicester, only moments after commencing track build toward Hinckley. Hinckley opens on single track line on the 1st of January 1862. Construction to Leicester continues. In January 1863, Enderby Quarry opens and connects to the as yet unopened railway, probably providing ballast for the track. South Leicestershire's extension was completed in 1864, still single track and operated by LNWR and connecting to the Midland Rugby branch. It incorporated local quarries who built sidings to the line. Elmsthorpe, Narborough and Blaby open on the 1st of Jan. An additional route to Midland's new but short-lived Nuneaton Abbey Street station was added on the Whittaker and Nuneaton branch, avoiding LNWR's Nuneaton on Bond Street. In 1867, the South Leicestershire Railway is taken over wholly by the London North Western. Leicester Station is renamed Leicester Campbell Street. To prevent confusion, the Wigston on the Midland Counties line is renamed Wigston South in 1868. Around 1870, Orson Wright opened the Wigston Tile and Brick Company, connecting via a tunnel under Saffron Road to the Midland Railway. In 1871, during construction of the Ashby and Nuneaton line, work also starts on the Hinckley to Stoke Golding spur. A Roman vase with over 200 mint coins is discovered. Track is certainly in place as a death is recorded of a man falling from a moving wagon. A south court from Wigston to the Midland Hitchin branch is added in 1872. In August 1873, the Ashby and Nuneaton Railway opens, though goods-only traffic starts 18 days later. Stations open in September at Higham on the Hill, Stoke Golding, Shenton and Market Bosworth. It splits at the following station of Shackerstone into two branches. This will be the subject of the next video. Later the same month, the Hinckley to Stoke Golding branch fails to meet compliance with the Railway Inspectorate for the inability to resolve issues relating to spikes and switches. Repeat visits do not resolve the problem. To accommodate the new Ashby and Nuneaton joint railway junction, Nuneaton Midland is moved in September and Weddington Junction is created. In October, a Leicester to Coventry spur is added but never used. It is later turned into a siding. In early 1874, Stony Stanton Quarry connects to the line, although it has been operating for a number of years with its own tramway. In November, Welford Road opens, also known as Cattle Market or Knighton Road, as an LNWR station on the Midland Railway. Located on the northbound, it is set down only and opens solely on Saturdays and Wednesdays. Farmers after market would walk back to Leicester via several hostelries, and after 1904 they'd use the trams. In December 1877, Croft Station opens and Croft Quarry connects to the line, though it had been in operation since 1868. Stony had its own track, predating the railway from the quarry to St Michael's Church, and Barrow Hill was opened before 1881. In 1878, at Stony Stanton, Lanes Hill Quarry opens and Clint Hill opens the following year. Glenparva Barracks opens as Wigston Barracks in 1882, but only for military movements, opening to the public in April 1884 as Glenparva. Orson Wright's Wigston Junction brick and tile works connected to the LNWR via Glenparva's sidings in 1886, and in 1887 Glenparva adds Wigston to its name. In 1888, the unopened Hinckley to Stoke Golding branch is stripped of assets, including sleepers being sold as firewood. Leicester Campbell Street is renamed Leicester London Road in June 1892. In March 1899, as part of the opening of the Great Central Railway London extension, Whetstone and Ashby Magna open. In 1900, Huncote Quarry connects to the line. It had been operating since 1797. Neighbouring quarry, Red Hill, had no access to the line nor their own processing plant, so they used Huncote's rock crusher and sent their material via a 700-yard, 640-metre, aerial ropeway with netting protecting loose rocks from hitting the track. Red Hill opened the same year. Barrow Hill Quarry connects to the line in March 1901. The Midland quadrupled their railway, and at Wigston the junction was altered in 1902, so the LNWR joined the Midland at the same point as the London and Hitchin line, requiring Wigston to be rebuilt. Warren Quarry opens in August 1908 and joins the Enderby sidings. In 1914, the Stoke Golding branch is officially abandoned. In the early hours of the 12th of July, Blaby is burnt down by suffragettes Ellen Sheriff and Elizabeth Frisbee, along with experienced arsonist Kitty Marion, armed with wood shavings dipped in creosol. With the Great War in progress, Whetstone Curve with Blaby and Whetstone junctions opens with intent to supply soldiers to the south coast from Wigston Barracks. In 1917, Red Hill Quarry closes. In 1918, Welford Road Cattle Market Station closed, though the sidings continued until the 1960s and the market itself lasted until 1988. Poignantly, on Armistice Day 1919, Whetstone Curve, which had supplied troops, is taken out of use. In 1921, Clint Hill Pit closes. It became landfill and remains fenced off in the centre of Stony Village. A number of changes take place in the years following the 1921 Grouping Act. The Midland and LNWR become the LMS, and the Great Central becomes the LNER. In 1924, Wigston on the Midland Main Line is renamed Wigston Magna. In June, Nuneaton, Midland, was renamed Nuneaton Abbey Street and Nuneaton renamed Trent Valley. The station went back to Nuneaton in 1968 but is often still referred to as Trent Valley. The Ashby and Nuneaton Railway closes to passengers on the 13th of April 1931, closing all stations on both branches. The 1950s sees the closure of Huncote Quarry in 51, Barrow Hill in 57, Lanes Hill and Top Quarry in 58, and both these Stony Stanton quarries begin to fill with water. In 1961, the ex-Midland Railway Leicester to Rugby line at Nuneaton was closed and quickly removed. In January 1962, the LMS branch to Rugby closes as a precursor to the Beeching Acts and loses station at Wigston South, Countersthorpe and Broughton Astley. In June, the Ashby and Nuneaton Railway closes all branches. Beeching's report is published in March 1963. In 1963, Stony Stanton Quarry becomes popular with water skiing and divers, especially those looking for careers in the North Sea. In March, Whetstone closes. In 1965, the section between Lutterworth and Markfield on the UK's first long-distance motorway, the M1, opens. On the 4th of July 1966, Orson Wright's Brick and Tile Company is disconnected from the main line. The effects of the Beeching Acts come into effect in 1968 with the closures of Wigston Magna in January and Wigston Glenparva, Blaby, Narborough, Croft and Elmsthorpe in March. In May 1969, Ashby Magna closes with the section of Great Central from Rugby to Nottingham, bringing the entire railway to closure. On the same day, the Midland station reverts to its original name of Leicester. After pressure from local people and the council, Narborough reopens in January 1970, barely 2 years after closure. Pre-Covid passengers number 400,000 annually. In 1973, on the Battlefield line, which was a section of the Ashby to Nuneaton Railway, the first train of open wagons runs from Shackerstone to Market Bosworth. In February 1976, Warren Quarry closes. In November, the M69 opens at the Leicester end. Enderby Quarry closes in 1981. South Wigston, a new station 300 yards east of the old Glenparva, opens in May 1986. Shenton Station on the Battlefield line reopens in 1992 after a campaign since the mid-80s. In March 2011, Market Bosworth, which had closed due to vandalism, reopens for the third time. Croft's granite sidings ceased production in 2017, but the track remains attached to the line in 2022. This brings us up to date with the railways of 2022.
Phew.
Thanks for watching. I'll be back next time with the Ashby and Nuneaton Joint Railway.
And there we go. Thank you very much for that. Admittedly, as Dave has said, Dave Blower, he's our railway man, you know, here on HDPP. He's the expert. He said, I wouldn't rely on some of them dates. I don't know, David, I'll take your word for that. There we go. But that just brings you... I think what made me smile about that, if you were paying attention, amazing. What you know the terminology, what goes around comes around, yeah? same sort of thing. And that bit down at Nuneaton joining basically a direct link that was turned into a siding between Hinckley and Coventry as a direct route, right, without having to go into Nuneaton. Now they've on about bringing that back and putting a station at the bottom there, aren't they? Doubt it'll happen, but they say these things and whatnot, and you're thinking, well, they ripped it out, now they want to put it back in. I think there's some lessons in there somewhere, yeah. Anyway, there we go. While that was going, there's a hell of a conversation going on in the chat room all about Dennis's book. Brilliant. If I was looking, I'm sure I'd put one of those as a little advert somewhere, and I can't find it. I don't know why. Yes, there is 2 books from HDPP members. There is Lynette Lee's book called Slipping Away, the true story of her father's battle with Alzheimer's, which is a great read anyway, regardless. And then Dangerous Den, a Burbage Boyhood. It's going great, and it's been lovely to see how well they're being received. And thank you for your support to Den as well. And I know that that eventually, when John Denny does his book, no, it's see, John, the market's there. They're gagging for it. What are you doing, man? Anyway, so there you go. Do that. Now, if you just come in late and you want to catch up with 6 of the best, not a problem. Let's go through those questions one more time for you. Question 1, I'm asking, what was the name of the man who introduced the knitting frame to Hinckley? Yeah. Question number 2, which science deals with heat, light, electricity, and mechanics? Question 3, true or false? A frog can breathe through its skin. Is that true? Is it false? I'm sure you'll get the right answer there. Guess the year. I've just had to double check this because I've been asleep since I did this. What year was the first modern day street fair held in the borough? You know, the Tin Hat Street Fair, but what year was it? What year did it first start proper? Yeah. Where am I? In Hinckley. There you go. I'm in Hinckley. But where in Hinckley? Where can you see that particular building, etc., etc.? You'll have the answer before the end of the programme. And question 6. Ahmed, L-hole soft withholding or soft withholding, hell old Ahmed, whichever way you want to do it. It'll give you a village with a once very popular pub. The pub itself is all boarded up now. A bit of a shame. Great to go out there. Now, John Denny got it in before it even finished the original round of this. So well done, John. Mrs. G has done it, but she's arguing with me that there is an extra. What did you? She said there's an extra L in it somewhere. That's an H. Go on. Right. So an L instead of an H or something. Do you know, it really annoys me, you see, because I do these things, and then she comes in after watching the telly and comes straight in, you've done that wrong. No, well, anyway, so don't worry if you got an odd letter out. We are aware of it, but it doesn't affect the actual overall, it doesn't affect the overall answer, okay? Yeah, that's my excuse. I'm sticking with it. Trust me, I really, really am. Right, okay then. As I say, lots of things which HDPP are up to over the coming weeks. So I say we're looking forward to Wednesday night. Please come along. Oh, can I also tell you, those who are coming, come early, because there's going to be a lot of people there. Our guests will be there, and we usually tend to seat them down the middle of the room for easy access. But I would advise you getting there a little bit earlier than normal, just to ensure you get your seats. I really do mean that, because it's going to be a busy night. I'm sure of it as well. So that's that. Now, I'll also give you a heads up about our March social night. This is going to be brilliant. Can't wait. We have a guest speaker coming in, and he's coming in to talk about it's called Richard III from Villain to Hero. Yeah. And then we've got the wonderful Annabelle. Once again, and she's coming to give a humorous talk called Stupid Deaths. As you will see, I will start plugging that the second we've got Wednesday out the way. I only plug them 1 month at a time, because otherwise people get confused. Which month are we on now? So that's coming up in March. So that's going to be a good night. So double bill. So we've got talk about Richard III, from villain to hero. And then we've got Stupid Deaths with the wonderful Annabelle, Dangerous Den's granddaughter. So you all better be there, otherwise you won't half be in trouble, I can tell you. Right, okay, lovely. Now then, once again, people really praising the books from HDPP authors. And interestingly enough, when I did post that the other day on the group, I had Greg Droach said, well, I'm an author, which is true. So Greg Droach has also done several publications, one being Coach and Cab, which I've got here somewhere, and also another lady on the group, I can't remember her name now, but she's also an author. So we've got some talent here. And it's great to see. It really, really is. And, we're quite happy to help people along, and particularly when these sort of things, and we know that, when John Denny brings his book out, my word, it's going to be one mad rush to the shops, because people will want to have photographic evidence that the book actually exists, that it's in its physical form. John, what are you doing, John? I've noticed how John doesn't come to our meetings anymore because we rib him too much, so he goes to his photography thing instead. Poor Kath has to come and take the flak, but we're all right, Kath. Anyway, now then, let's move on. Our nosy tonight. What are we nosying with tonight? Well, I'm delighted to say we're actually one behind Mr. Picker at the moment, because Steve has been out. I've seen he's posted another video today, which was too late to be included in tonight's programme, but I've got one from last week which he posted, which we're going to feature tonight. I know how much you enjoy your nosy, and once again, I'll give this a plug as well. Our September social night will be Delighted Dave and Steve Picker live on stage. We'll hope to get Delighted Dave as well. And like I say, that is in September, so don't miss it. Kath Denny says, I don't mind. No, Well done, Kath. Okay, let's sit back, let's go and enjoy a bit of a nosy.
Hello, hey up and how you diddling? My name is Steve, and once again it's a great big warm welcome from myself to Let's Explore. Right then, we're editing the video, we're doing the narrating parts, and whilst all that is going on, yes, you heard it here first, I'm indeed having a bath. Sorry, Delighted Dave, if you're listening. Anyway, so today's video then, well, nothing major. I mean, well, I'm not selling it to you very well, am I? But I didn't have a lot of time this weekend, he says, because the first bit that you're looking at now is the best part of 40 miles away from where I live, near Newark in Nottinghamshire. Now, the first half of this nosy today is the result of looking for something else on the maps and ending up bumping into this one. Now, as you can see, on the left, that is an 1880s Ordnance Survey map, and of course the one on the right is a modern day Earth image. Now, when I seen the one on the left, I thought, well, is it there or is it not this old ice house, which I think was built in the 18th century for Stubton Hall in Nottinghamshire, which I think is now a really nice, very suave wedding venue. But of course on the right you can't see if it's there or not, because there is indeed a load of trees. But that is until you do this. Right, so of course now what we've gone and done is we've removed the Earth image and we've replaced it with what I think is known as a world topo map on the National Library of Scotland. And as you can see, where the ice house is marked on the left, you can see a dark grey box shape on the right. Now, this doesn't always mean that these structures are there. I've had this before where I've gone somewhere where there's a load of trees and the building's there no more. Why it's surveyed like that in the first place, I really don't know, because you go to these places sometimes, you can clearly see it's been gone for a long time. So a bit odd. So this was kind of on a whim. I decided to get in the car late Friday afternoon, drive all the way up near to Newark-on-Trent, in Nottinghamshire, and see if this little bleeder were there. Well, guess what? It was there, so let's go and have a nosy and see what the dealio is. I'll scrub me back while you're watching the rest of it, alright? That pissing duck.
Oh, come on.
And there you have it. Right, let's go for a nosy. Right then, so we've gone from looking at the maps and explaining to you a little bit about this first ice house that we're going to look at, and we're now just entering this bit of a spinney at the side of this quiet country lane in Nottinghamshire, not far from Newark. Now in here somewhere should be this first ice house. Fingers crossed. Well, and as you can see, it's quite accessible anyway, you know, there's not thorns and undergrowth everywhere. And I think I can actually see something in the distance, which is great news. Well, I said to you that I thought I could see something, and I can. Just the other side of that willow tree over there. Now, it's quite interesting here because we've got some water, look. Now, usually they would build an ice house near water, but that's not always the case. I've come across them before nowhere near water, but ours has got water. Now, of course, in the winter, that would have froze over, and staff from Stubton Hall, which is behind that tree line over there, those evergreens in the distance, they would have come up here, smashed the ice off here, and took it into that ice house. Anyway, let's get round there and go and have a nosy. I don't know if it's mad or what, to be honest with you, but I've driven the best part of 40 miles to come and have a look at this. There it is. It looks a little bit derelict, to be honest with you, but not that I want to see things derelict, but it gives them a bit of character, don't it? To be honest, we've just got to get over here now because there's a bit of a stream down here or something. What we got? Bit of a precarious looking footbridge here, but it's about the only way over by the looks of it. Yeah, feels all right, doesn't it? He says until he falls through it. But there you have it, red brickwork. That's a very old structure, that is, you know. Lord knows how old that is, but absolutely fantastic. Right, so butchers round it. Now, as you can see, we've got a bit of a domed top to it there, a vaulted ceiling from underneath, as we'll see in a minute. Now, usually these ice houses are actually under the ground. It's quite pretty how it was built, actually. Lovely red brick constructed rooftop there. Fantastic, that. Right, so, wow, look at this then. So, Lord only knows how deep this went. There's been no signs of ladders, actually, by the looks of that. So how would... There's not, is there, look? So how would you have actually got in here? There's no evidence that there was a floor here either. You know, like bricks missing. I mean, well, no, that's not a missing brick. That's just one that's fallen out. Not a missing brick for wood to slide in to make a floor. So bizarre. This is incredible. It's quite fantastic, actually. If I'm honest with you, bizarre. We've got to see inside it anyway. That was a surprise when I just walked round the corner to the entrance of it. I don't usually like to see graffiti, but that's quite cool. I mean, not that I'm advocating that it should be drawn or sprayed onto a structure like this. I mean, this might actually be a listed building, to be honest with you. But Stubton Hall, as I mentioned earlier, is in those trees over there, at the other side of those trees over there. So staff would have had to have walked over here to collect it. Now, what's it? Ah, that's interesting. So I wonder if that brickwork there is more modern. I don't know, actually, or is it? Yeah, that's a bit strange, isn't it? I wasn't expecting that. Must be. Probably something to do with keeping the ice a certain temperature. I don't know. Interesting. Very interesting structure, that is. Very interesting, and goes quite deep beneath here. It could have gone much deeper, but as you've seen there, a lot of debris in there, a lot of bricks and what have you. I mean, just look at that. It's very old worldly, that is, isn't it? Fantastic stuff. Right, let's go to the next one. Right, so just before we go and look at the next one, I just want to show you this little diagram, and you can clearly see how it kind of worked then. Now, a lot of these ice houses that I've seen before are actually buried underneath the ground. There's a bit of an access tunnel to them usually. But these two today, apart from the actual underground section, they actually stick out the ground with a domed roof, which is quite nice to see actually. And I'll be honest with you, before I made this video today, I'd never really looked into ice houses much. I knew what they were, but I didn't really get totally how they work. So of course, where you walk in that tunnel, you've got quite a deep drop off. Now I've been looking on Google Images, you know, and some of these are really, really deep. Like bloody little mining shafts, some of them are, and they're probably actually built like them. Actually, but as you can see at the bottom, you've got a drain. Well, that makes sense, don't it? Because we're storing ice, so you are going to get some ice melt. Now, it's quite interesting because I was reading up on this earlier that apparently, if they harvested ice in the winter, a lot of the ice could actually survive till the next winter, believe it or not. But as you can see there, you've got that drain at the bottom because they do expect to get some melt from ice, which you would, wouldn't you? Even if you could, you know, keep your temperatures decent. I mean, this is long before the times of electrical, nearly messed that up then, didn't I? This is a long time before electrical refrigeration, you know. And only the lords of the manor had structures like this in the garden. But they actually used to pack the ice, apparently, with straw or sawdust. Anyway, let's get over to the maps. Right, so what you're looking at here, courtesy of the National Library of Scotland once again, is an Ordnance Survey map dated around about 1883-1884 of Wanlip, which is a very small village just to the immediate north of Birstall, which is to the north of Leicester, in Leicestershire. Now, I've actually circled where the hall used to be. I mean, it's actually shown on this map, of course, but the hall is long gone. It's not there anymore. Now, that little red dot in the bottom left, that is actually showing where the ice house is. You might be thinking, that's an awful long way from the hall, Steve. Well, it is. It's 800 and something metres away, and I know that because I've measured it on the maps as well with the facilities provided. It's great, you know, the Ordnance Survey maps on the National Library of Scotland. You know, go and check it out. It's free to use as well. Anyway, I digress. And when I first seen this, you know, the other day when I explored it, I was didn't know what to make of it because as you can see, it's a long way away from any water. Now, to the immediate south of the hall, as you can see, you've got a bit of a pond, which is to the left of the River Soar, and you've got the River Soar itself. And I was thinking, you know, why are we taking ice that far away to an ice house? I was questioning it. Do you know what I mean? But after reading up on ice houses a bit, as I mentioned earlier, I'd never done it before. I realised they've built it where it is because it's up a bit of a hill away from the hall, meaning that if there was a drain at the bottom of this structure, which is all filled in with sand and what have you now, as you'll see in a minute, you know, because it's high up, you know, water could drain away from any ice melt. So it's quite clear now because I just couldn't get it in my head at the time. I was standing there off camera saying to myself, why is this all the way up here? Anyway, without any further ado, let's stop banging on about it. Well, let me stop banging on about it. Let's go and actually look round it. Come on, let's go for a nosy.
Right then, so now it's time for a second port of call, which is a little bit closer to Homer. Do you know what I mean? A bit closer to Homer. Going all Simpsons on you, and I. No, Homer, let's go for a nosy. It's a bit strange when old Marge says nosy, isn't it? Anyway, I digress. I'm daft, and I. Anyway, so his second ice house and last one of the day is in that bit of a tree line there. It's quite interesting with Wanlip, you know, because it's actually named after the 8th Earl of Leicester, can you believe? And he was actually born with no bottom lip. So yeah, you didn't know that, did you? So before you go and Google it and all that, I will just tell you, of course, I'm bullshitting you. I'm daft, ain't I? I'm trying to make the content go a bit further, ain't I? So we've got a bit of a longer video. But yeah, very interesting this. Now, I'm daft, ain't I? Like I say, you can see this structure from the road down there when you're travelling between Birstall and the 8th Earl of Leicester's Wanlip. You know, so I don't know if we can get in this or not. I found it, Del boy. Just see the top of it there, look. Lovely. Let's go and have a nosy. Maybe not. Right then, so this is a little bit like a scene from Watership Down, although I've not seen any rabbits yet, because as you can see, there's that beautiful structure that we're going to look at. But look at this, look. Sign of rabbits, evidence of rabbits, everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Bright eyes, burning like fire. I know, I'm mad, ain't I? But yeah, I think we might be able to get in this, you know. Look at this, this is fantastic. All the way up here. So, like the last one, this isn't buried beneath the ground. This does protrude, you know, quite a bit out of it, of course. It's in great condition, the roof is. But, say a little butcher's in it. Yeah, we can actually get in this one, look, so... Say a look. Oops. Get it on full power, the old Torchio. Right. Brilliant, look at this here, look. Right, I'm trying to get in. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, not a lot to look at, but it's an amazing structure, isn't it? You know, up here on this bit of a ridge between Birstall and Wanlip. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, do you know what? You know, the craftsmanship that went into building this. Look at that there. See where the brickwork changes there, look. See that? It kind of comes inwards. See what I mean? So they've built the dome on top of that course there, look, and then it kind of... This brickwork here starts coming down at an angle. I don't know, maybe 75, 80 degree angle, that is. Something like that. Fantastic. And do you know what? Just like the last one we've been looking at, this would have gone down quite a way. Now, I said to you when we were at the last one that I didn't know how they actually got down to the bottom. Well, you know, they could have had a portable ladder. Maybe they went up to the ice house with a horse and cart and, you know, got inside it that way with a portable ladder. Right, we'll have a little look round the back of it. But it's fantastic, isn't it? Do you know what it reminds me of? Can you remember that film, Never Ending Story? And I can't remember the characters' names now. I've not seen the film since I was a kid. But they're out somewhere and they come across this, like, big dome thing out in the sticks in fairy tale land, wherever it is they are, I don't bloody know. Fantasia, that's the one, isn't it? Never Ending Story. I loved that song when I was a kid. Anyway, I digress. And there's like a big old, like, tortoise, a giant tortoise out in the middle of nowhere. I think I'm thinking of the right film. I don't know, I'm talking like an idiot. I'm meant to be showing you that, ain't I? But yeah, just look at that. Amazing craftsmanship, you know, and it's actually got render on it. It was rendered by the looks of it. Oh, here we are, Indiana Jones in it. Oh. Yeah. It's had some sort of render on it as well, look. See that? It's... Yeah. Yeah, it's all, you know, worn off, weathered off, whatever you like. Right, well, unfortunately, that concludes today's video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. A bit of a shorter video for you. It might be a bit longer than I thought, actually. I really don't know until I edit it. But fantastic structure, very old and very, very well built. You know, that will outlive many things that we're building today, I imagine, unless somebody properly caves it in, because that is sound. Built so sound, that is. But yeah, so... This year, or in the next few weeks or months, got some, hopefully, some very interesting videos coming up for you that I'm looking forward to making. But this one today, I wanted to make this video. Whoa! Just put my microphone back on here. Do you know what? The rabbits have absolutely decimated this. I've just about fell down a bloody warren. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I'll leave that in. Yeah, got quite a bit planned for you. I'm looking forward to making some of the stuff I've got coming up. But this one, although I drove 40 miles for the best part of 40 miles for the first ice house, it was still quick. I was only there 10 or 15 minutes messing about. And I just really wanted to go and see it, to be honest with you. I'm a bit like that. I'm a bit daft. I'm a bit mental like that, and I don't think I'm mental, it's everyone else. But yeah, this weekend's one of them where I ain't really got much of a chance to make something substantial. Anyway, less of the rabbiting on. Quite fitting, really, with all these rabbit holes here. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and share it. And I will be seeing you at the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye. You got out to say about it, Marge? No, Homer! There you go. Right. Bon voyage. Bye.
There you go, Mr. Vicar himself, who has joined us in the chat room, and people are chatting away to him at the moment. And like I say, if you want to meet Steve and hopefully Delighted Dave in September, our social night, which we've reserved especially for them to come down. And like I say, we'll have some of the wonderful pictures of Dave that he's talked at these noses, and Steve will answer any questions as well. That's in September. You see, I'm giving people plenty of warning now. Okay, plenty of warning. And I'll give you another advance warning. There will be no, well, we're not here in July. So, and that happens to be when the social night will be in July. So we won't be there. You can go and do it without us if you like, but we will be away that particular that time this year, if you understand. Good. Okay, great one, mate. I like that one actually with the ice house. They're really cool. See, I can get a pun in too. And when he said, I should stop rabbiting on at the end there, and I seen those boards, I thought he's got to link it in. And he did. Nice one, Steve. I love the trip over there. Good stuff. Yeah, we'll have another nosy next week because we're one ahead. We're one behind the main stuff. You can always go if you want to see another nosy by Steve. Once as usual, go along to Let's Explore on YouTube. You can see them, but we'll be screening. The one he's recently done. That'll be next week. So there we go. Anyway, so. Now they're talking about hell drivers. That was on telly the other day, by the way, I'll have you know. Yeah. Anyway, or as Steve say, I digress. 6 of the best it is. We're going to give you the answers now. We'll go through the questions, then I'm going to ask you to put the answers. But wait a minute. Let me click the right bit first so we know where we are. Okay. So, 6 of the best. We've given you 6 questions. Actually, in my opinion, very easy tonight. I haven't really got any... I nearly said, I can't say that. Anyway, I haven't got any dodgy questions for you tonight. I was going to say something totally different, but no, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so I was asking question 1. What was the name of the man who introduced the knitting frame to Hinckley? So, let's see what you've got lined up for that. And while we're waiting for that to come in the chat room, so they're on about hell drivers, and they're talking about William Hartnell and Stanley Baker. Great film, I remember watching it. Great, yeah. So Jane Brown, well done, Jane. She's come through first with the correct answer, and of course, the man who introduced the knitting frame to Hinckley was indeed William Iliff. Followed then quickly by John Denny and Hunt, also saying William Iliff, of course. And the rest, as they say, was history. Absolutely was. So well done. If you've got William Iliff, give yourself... Oh, David's got even more. 1640. Thank you, David. Right, so that will give you 1 point. Okay. Question number 2. Now, which science deals with heat, light, electricity, and mechanics? What science is it? Oh, are you thinking? Let's see who can give me what science it is that deals with heat, light, electricity, and mechanics. Jane, you're on fire tonight, aren't you? Jane, physics, followed by John Denny. Physics, absolutely. Do you know something? Physics to me was a laxative. Well, it was. Who can remember? Well done, Anne Hunt as well. She said physics. Seriously, when I was a kid, if we were a little bit, that way, we'd have a dose of physic. Can you remember it, Mrs. G? No, I'm being deadly serious. What, you need a good dose of physic, you do. Oh, well, yeah. Anyway, there you go. I'll do a Steve Picker. I digress. There we go. Yes, we are talking physics. So that is the answer to question 2. Question 3. A frog can breathe through its skin. Is that true? Is it false? Dave B said, I got physics. Reminded me of double dose of Dracula. Jane, she's on fire. She said, is it true? John Denny, true, correct. Yeah, and David Starnborough, true. Yes, that is correct. A frog can breathe through its skin. Absolutely, it's true. If you've got that right tonight, give yourself a point. And so far, you've probably got 3 out of 3. Question number 4. Now then, I had to double check on this before I went any further. What year was the first modern day street fair held in the borough? So I'm going to see how many have a guess, because I could have put the the years in question, but I thought, no, I will be a bit strict here, and thought, let's see if anybody can have a guess. So have a guess. No, David, he's put 1311. Now, I know what you're meaning, David, but I said, look, what year was the first modern day street fair held in the borough? I think you're referring to the 1311 of the first market, which indeed was 1311. Ian Roberts has gone for 1997. No. Carol Beasley says 1968. Oh, okay. We're waiting. I'll just give it a few more moments. Oh, it's all gone quiet on the John Denny front. John Denny's gone for 1994. Well done, John. I'll give you that, you see. You didn't have to wait for your answer like we're waiting for your book. You got it. Yeah. David, no, it was the very first tin hat fair in modern day was 1994. Kevin Beasley, he's just throwing in random things now, 1066. I'm surprised somebody ain't put 1439 or something like that, or 1485, Battle of Bosworth you could have done. Okay, so, well done. So John Denny may have just put him ahead a little bit, Jane. Let's see as we get on to Where Am I? Now then, where am I in Hinckley? Now, John Denny says he recognises where this is. Let's see if anybody else wants to have a go. Hellcats, Castle Street, without the sign. Yes. You're right, John. Top of Castle Street, next to the tattoo shop. You're actually, you're right. Let's say you're both right in a way. Because obviously, when I took the picture, I was interested in the tattoo sign. But it's the shop next door. But I'm going to give it you both. I'll give it you. But Dave B said, "Is that your house?" But let me get away. Let's show you where we were. Look, this is where we were. Now, what I did do, just because I wasn't going to leave the sign in, see where it says tattoo, so I airbrushed the sign out. So we're actually. So if you said the tattoo shop, yes, that's great. And indeed, I would take the Hall and Co next door as an answer. But yeah, I'll give you that. Top of Castle Street, tattoo shop, whatever. If I remember right, it's owned by the same landlord anyway. So there we go. So well done with that. Let us move on. And already I know that John Denny has copied and pasted his answer for this one. Ahmed, hellhole soft withholding. I'm glad when we've done this one. We're looking for a village with a once very popular pub. And now I know. Yeah. John Denny, the Oddfellows, Home on the Hill. Correct. And it looks like, I think Dangerous Den has fell on his keyboard. Well done, Dennis. And Jane Brown says, the Oddfellows, Home on the Hill. Well done. I think it's going to be a close run thing. I've got a feeling John Denny may have 6 tonight. Jane will certainly, I'm sure Jane's going to come through with a good 5. So let's have your scores, please, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for the scores to come in. As I say, let's see who can beat it. But I think tonight we're going to have a 6er and a 5er at the very, very least. Let's have a look. 6 without Google. Russet says 1. Alan Crop says Alan 3. Marie 2. 4 between us. Dennis Perkins, seriously, 3. David Starborough, 3. Okay, let's see. So, like I say, at the minute, John is shining out there like a beacon. Yeah. He's really big. Jane Brown said, that was great. 5 for us tonight. Absolutely. I thought you got 5. Well done to John. Cal Beasley, 2. Queen Bee, just the 4 tonight. Never mind, we've got more to come, I know. And, we'll say well done. And it's great you're just having a go and having fun on a Sunday night with us. Once again, I'll just, before I go and leave you on this Sunday evening, because I know you want to go off and look at the BAFTAs, I'm sure you do. Don't forget, Wednesday night, join us at the Greyhound for our biggest night of the year when we present out the HDPP Good Causes. Looking forward to doing that. Next month, don't forget, we've got King Richard here, villain to hero, that was it. We've got a guest speaker coming in to talk about that. And then, for a bit of light relief, we've got the wonderful Annabelle, who is going to give us a 30-minute talk about stupid deaths. Bit humorous, I think you'll find that is. And Kevin Beasley said, Paul, I'm sorry, none tonight. I was late on parade. Yes, it was. It was noted in notes here. You see, I've still got a fax machine, and I know exactly who's coming and going. Now, please remember to like and subscribe. Click the bell so you get notifications whenever we go live. That'll be great. And Russet said, Bill's watching the snooker. No BAFTAs tonight for us. No, indeed. Looking forward to seeing you all on Friday. Well done, Paul, by the way. You got 5. So Jane and Paul, and they're both in Factory Road, Jane and Paul. Well done, 5 tonight. We're looking forward to seeing you. Please come along and say hello and enjoy a little night with HDPP down at the Greyhound on Wednesday. Until then, thank you very much for watching. It's been great fun tonight, and I look forward to seeing you Wednesday. If not, I'll be back here next Sunday night at 7:30. I hope you can join me then. Remember to keep it HDPP and to keep it live. Until then, good night. Oh, hello. Yeah, you know this is the little bit. The bit we never talk about. It's the bit where some of you hang around and we go, oh, hello. And I'd like to send you off to bed with a little chortle, a bit of a laugh. And I've got some for you tonight. Cooey. Wonderful, well done. You lot are great. Love it. Okay then, so a few dad jokes to send you off. And hopefully you'll enjoy these tonight. I'm really looking forward to these actually because I only got them off the internet earlier on. Anyway, what do you call a cow in an earthquake? A milkshake. A milkshake. I love that one. Yes. Yes. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. Or, what do you call a werewolf who doesn't know they're a werewolf? An unaware wolf. Meanwhile, I'm terrified of elevators. I'm going to take steps to avoid them. One for David Blower. For those of you that play Wordle, today's solution was not easy. Easy is not a 5-letter word. No. Nearly there. Wait, there's more. Don't be worried about your smartphone and television collecting your data. Your vacuum has been gathering dirt on you for years. Good, innit? I made a pencil with 2 erasers. It was pointless. And finally, we've got the final one coming now. Then you can go home. The last one is, now 2 slices of bread got married. The wedding was amazing until someone decided to toast the bride and groom. Take care. See you soon. Good night.